March 18th, 1314. Paris, France. Jacques de Molay, the last Grand Master of the Knights Templar, is being burned alive at the stake. As the flames consume him, he raises his voice one last time, not to scream, but to issue a curse. He summons his accusers, Pope Clement V and King Philip IV of France, to join him before God's tribunal within the year. It was a dying man's final cry for justice. But what followed would cement the legend of the Templars' curse for eternity. To understand the curse, we must first understand the men who cast it. The Knights Templar were born from the fire of the First Crusade. Founded in the 12th century, their sworn duty was to protect Christian pilgrims on the dangerous roads to the Holy Land. They were warrior monks, a brotherhood bound by vows of poverty, chastity, and obedience. Their symbol, the red cross on a white mantle, became a beacon of courage and faith across the medieval world. They were perhaps the most elite fighting force of their time, but their true power was not just in their swords. The Templars pioneered a revolutionary system of international banking. A pilgrim could deposit his money at a Templar temple in London, receive a coded note, and withdraw the funds in Jerusalem. They became fabulously wealthy, owning vast tracts of land across Europe, building castles and financing wars. Their power became immense, their influence second only to the Pope himself, to whom they answered directly. For nearly 200 years, they were untouchable. And then came Friday the 13th. The antagonist of our story is King Philip IV of France, known as Philip the Fair. He was handsome, pious, but also deeply ambitious and massively in debt to the Templars. He saw their wealth, their power, their secrecy, and he coveted it. He saw them not as holy warriors, but as a threat to his own absolute authority. Working in the shadows, King Philip devised a secret, meticulously coordinated plan. On the dawn of Friday, October 13th, 1307, his agents stormed every Templar establishment in France. Thousands of knights, from the highest commanders to the newest recruits, were arrested in a single brutal stroke. The date would forever become a synonym for bad luck. The charges were shocking and designed to create maximum public horror: heresy, spitting on the cross, devil worship, and unspeakable secret rituals. To prove these charges, the king's inquisitors unleashed years of systematic, horrific torture. Under unimaginable pain, many knights confessed to crimes they never committed. Pope Clement V, initially hesitant, was eventually pressured by the powerful French king. In 1312, he officially disbanded the Knights Templar Order, wiping the most powerful organization in Christendom off the map. But in his moment of triumph, King Philip made a frustrating discovery. The Templars' legendary treasure, their immense hoard of gold, silver, and priceless religious relics, was gone. On the eve of the arrests, the Templar fleet had allegedly sailed from the port of La Rochelle, vanishing into the night along with their riches. The treasure has never been seen again.
Which brings us back to that fiery stake in Paris, 1314. As Jacques de Molay burned, he cursed his betrayers, summoning them to face God's judgment within the year. It was a bold, final act of defiance. And then the curse began to come true. Just over a month later, Pope Clement V died, reportedly from a sudden, agonizing illness. Then, in November of that same year, King Philip IV, while on a hunting trip, suffered a stroke after falling from his horse. He died within weeks. Both of the Templars' chief persecutors were dead, just as the Grand Master had prophesied. The curse was fulfilled, and the legend of the Knights Templar was sealed in fire and blood. But the downfall of the order gave birth to an even greater mystery. What happened to their treasure? And what did that treasure consist of? It was not just gold and silver. Legends say the Templars were the guardians of the most sacred relics in Christendom. Some believe they had the Holy Grail, the cup of Christ. Others say they possessed the Ark of the Covenant, or even the Shroud of Turin. For 700 years, the search for the Templar treasure has captivated historians and treasure hunters. Theories abound. Did the Templar fleet sail to Scotland, using their riches to fund Robert the Bruce's war for independence against England? This theory is bolstered by the sudden appearance of a formidable cavalry force that helped win the Battle of Bannockburn, a force some say fought under a Templar-like banner. Did they flee to Switzerland, their financial expertise used to create the foundation of the famously secretive Swiss banking system? Or did they cross the Atlantic a century before Columbus and bury their treasure in the New World? This is the theory that fuels the endless deadly money pit on Oak Island, where a stone was allegedly found with a code that hints at a Templar connection. The Knights Templar as an organization was destroyed, but their spirit, their secrets, and the mystery of their lost treasure live on. They have inspired centuries of secret societies, from the Freemasons to modern conspiracy theories. The curse of Jacques de Molay was not just a curse on a king and a pope. It was the birth of an immortal legend, a story of power, betrayal, and a lost treasure so vast it continues to be hunted to this day.